We bring you the lunch edition of MBC News. I am Romeo Omari. Coming up this afternoon, President Mutharika dismisses reports linking his administration to political arrests. Government says it needs at least 209 billion kwacha to recover from the impact of natural disasters. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, approves a 12% electricity base tariff adjustment. In our first story, President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika wishes to inform Malawians that he held a telephone conversation with Malawi's 6th President, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, and discussed matters of national interest. The call was initiated by Dr. Chakwera, who expressed concern over the recent law enforcement actions linking them to political arrests. In a statement, Presidential Press Secretary Kathy Maulidi said the president noted that while the previous administration oversaw numerous high-profile arrests, many appeared to be politically motivated maneuvers conducted without sufficient evidence, resulting in a notable lack of successful convictions. On this, President Mutharika reminded Dr. Chakwera of the pattern of arrest during his 5-year tenure, which targeted several high-ranking members of the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, and other officials. The Malawi leader has since assured the former leader that the current administration is guided strictly by the rule of law, adding that law enforcement agencies are now operating with the full independence, ensuring that arrests are made solely on the basis of clear and credible evidence. President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika has since emphasized that individuals arrested under the current legal framework will not be left to languish in the system. The government is committed to ensuring that all cases are brought to trial swiftly, upholding the right to a fair and timely administration of justice. The president remains steadfast in his resolve to allow law enforcement agencies to carry out their duties without interference, reaffirming the era of political arrests has ended. Now, Chief Secretary to the government Justin Saidi says the country needs at least 209 billion kwacha to fully recover from the impact of natural disasters that have affected most parts of the country. Saidi made the remarks in Lilongwe when Standard Bank donated 50 million kwacha towards food relief for people affected by devastating floods in Nkhani district. According to Saidi, Nkhani district alone requires 8 billion kwacha, of which 4 million kwacha has already been mobilized. More in this report by Mwaim Dumozi.
Chief Secretary to Government Justin Saidi says total response requirements for the 3-month emergency phase from January to March 2026 are estimated at 8.6 billion kwacha, out of which 4.6 billion kwacha has been mobilized, leaving a gap of 4 billion kwacha from Nkhani district. Saidi adds that as the country continues to experience the growing impacts of climate change and extreme weather events, there is need to invest deliberately and consistently in building national resilience to disasters. Saidi has since appealed to the private sector and development partners to continue supporting government efforts to implement resilience-building interventions that strengthen food security, including the expansion of irrigation farming and other climate-smart agricultural practices.
Within Nkhani, we are looking at a budget of 8 billion, and so far a certain amount has been raised, and we require about a sum of 4 billion to support them. But countrywide, we are thinking about not less than 200 billion kwacha, because it's not only about getting places for these people, it's also providing the resources, the amenities, the food, because these people have lost almost like everything. The houses, the cattle and what have you, they have been lost, and we need to support them. So hence the numbers are big, because we are looking at cumulatively what is there that require these people to live happily.
On his part, Standard Bank Chief Executive Philip Madinga says the impact of the devastating floods is a wake-up call for the nation to focus more on building resilience before disasters strike. He says the donation is meant to complement government efforts in addressing the immediate needs of the victims.
As Standard Bank, we say we want to drive Malawi's growth. But driving Malawi's growth also includes making sure that the people in the country, wherever they are living happily in an environment that's safe, especially now with climate change. And our view at Standard Bank is that we need to be proactive. To be resilient requires that you also plan ahead. And so we are delighted that when you look at the plans that Dodima has and the Malawi government, the current administration has, they are really pointing towards plans that ensure that we are less reactive but also more proactive. And this is why I think as Standard Bank we want to partner. We want to partner with government. This particular donation, the 50 million kwacha that we're providing to Nkota will not be the implementing partners. The implementing partners are World Vision International. We have a partnership with them because we believe they have a very good outreach, they have the experience, they have the expertise. But I think more importantly is that we already have a partnership that not only talks to reacting to situations like this. We have an initiative called Intengoanga Initiative where we supporting reforestation. We are supporting, making sure that the land wherever people are is taken care of. So yes, being agile requires that not only Standard Bank but the rest of the private sector, public sector, DODIM and many others and the international community, NGOs come together. And at Standard Bank, we're ready to collaborate and work with them.
World Vision International has partnered with the bank through the Department of Disaster Management Affairs to implement the relief response in Nkota. Director of Programs for World Vision International, Charles Magombo, says the situation in Nkota calls for collective action to ensure that the dignity of the affected people is restored. Since December 2025, Malawi has been experiencing heavy rainfall in most parts of the country, including Nkota district. The district experienced severe flooding following continuous heavy rainfall, resulting in widespread impacts of household infrastructure and essential services. The floods affected 10,912 households, representing 49,104 people. The disasters caused 12 deaths, 9 injuries, and left 2 people missing. Damage to public infrastructure, including roads, bridges, schools, water supply systems and sanitation facilities, significantly constrained access, delayed assessments, and disrupted service delivery. The flooding also affected 5,643.4 hectares of crops, primarily maize and legumes, undermining food security and livelihoods. Mwaim Tumodzi, NBC News, Lilongwe.
In a related development, the Salvation for All Ministries International has supported households affected by floods in the area of Traditional Authority Mwadzama in Nkota district with maize and plastic sheets. Speaking after presenting the donation, leader of the ministry, Apostle Clifford Kawinga, said the donation seeks to bring hope to the affected families. We have a report by Alonje Somsodoga.
Weeks ago, heavy rains damaged houses, crops, roads and bridges in Nkota district. The rains left people affected and others displaced, with some living in camps. Following this, Salvation for All Ministries International has come in to support households in the area of Traditional Authority Mwadzama in the district with maize and plastic sheets. Speaking after the donation, leader of the ministry, Apostle Clifford Kawinga, said such gesture is part of showing love and bringing hope to those affected and displaced.
A lot of people, they are homeless, they don't have shelter to lodge themselves up, and a lot of people, they don't have food. It's a problem which has come on top of another problem. There is already hunger in this area, and on top of that, they have also gone through the challenge of floods. So today, we have reached out to this area, Senior Chief Mwadzama in Nkota district, to make sure that the people should also be cheered up. They should feel the love of God.
In his remarks, Traditional Authority Mwadzama appreciated the gesture, but was quick to ask for well wishers to support those affected.
The floods badly affected our area. They washed away maize and cassava fields, as well as our houses. At the moment, most people do not have food. The maize we have received will help sustain us, and we are grateful to God.
Salvation for All Ministries International is among the organizations and institutions that have responded to the needs of people since the floods hit Nkhotakota. According to a recent update from the Department of Disaster Management Affairs, DODMA, over 10,000 households have been affected by the floods in the district. Lonjezon Sodoka, NBC News, Nkhotakota.
The Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, has clarified the 41% fuel price increase, emphasizing that the country was losing over 20 million liters of fuel to smuggling. MERA Acting Chief Executive Officer Dadi Chintambi said this on Tuesday during a press briefing in Lilongwe. Chintambi said the country was losing nearly $10 million every month to meet rising fuel demand from neighboring countries, a development he described as unsustainable. Details in this report by Trust Office.
The fuel price adjustment, which was effected on Monday night, comes after the country abandoned the automatic pricing mechanism in May 2023. According to the Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, this led to suppressed fuel prices and consequentially losses for fuel importers, as well as reduced levies meant for road rehabilitation. MERA Acting Chief Executive Officer Dadi Chintambi said the situation was not sustainable.
Some places around Chipata, service stations were even almost closing. Like you go there, you can't fuel because they have no need, because there's fuel coming from Malawi. And the whole community knows that for them to have fuel, they simply have to wait for jerrycans from Malawi. So almost all our border towns, that has been the issue, where their fuel is coming from Malawi. So essentially, we are satisfying other people's demand, foreign demand. That's not our demand.
While acknowledging the need to raise fuel prices to curb continued smuggling, Economics Association of Malawi President Betha Bangarachikaza has faulted the timing of the adjustment, saying it has coincided with increases in other tariffs.
Fuel prices were much lower than neighboring Tanzania, neighboring Zambia, and also Mozambique. And the price adjustments are generally unavoidable, especially in an import-dependent economy like Malawi that is facing foreign exchange shortages, but also global price volatility. But I think when we look at the macroeconomy, these are coming at such a time where we are trying to fix the economy, but also at the same time, Malawians are grappling with so many taxes.
The fuel price adjustment, which has come alongside an electricity tariff hike, is expected to trigger price changes on the market, particularly following anticipated increases in transport fares. Trust Office, NBC News, Lilongwe.
This is NBC News. A reminder of our top stories. President Mutharika dismisses reports linking his administration to political arrests. Government says it needs at least 209 billion kwacha to recover from the impact of natural disasters. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, approves a 12% electricity-based tariff adjustment. MERA has approved a 12% electricity-based tariff adjustment. MERA Acting Chief Executive Officer Dadi Chintambi says the adjustment is based on the 2023 survey, which recommended a 50.8% tariff adjustment. Erlin Nijimoyo reports.
The 12% adjustment was earmarked for September last year, but was not effected. According to Chintambi, the first tranche of the adjustment was 18%, followed by 16% in February 2025, with the current adjustment being 12%, leading to a 46% tariff adjustment since 2023. Speaking during a media briefing in Lilongwe, the acting CEO expressed hope that the adjustment will help improve the performance of the institution. The Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi, ESCOM, is however required to strictly adhere to its regulatory obligations, among them timely performance reporting, while indicating how the base tariff will be implemented in their respective customer categories. In a statement, the power supplier has indicated that the adjustment will assist them in procuring equipment that will facilitate swift response to faults and address their service delivery challenges. The delays in implementing the base tariff hike, among other challenges, led ESCOM to register tariff revenue deficits. Edin Chimoyo, NBC News, Blantyre.
Some communities in Mzimba district say poor road network in some parts of the district is contributing to increasing cost of goods and services, especially during the rainy season. This follows an incident where several trucks got stuck along the Edingeni and Bangweni road, forcing business people to spend extra money to ferry their goods from where the trucks were stuck to nearby markets. Rudoviko Nyirenda and Love Mo Shower have compiled this report.
Mzimba is one of the districts with a poor road network, as most of its roads are not tarmacked. Among the affected roads are Mbangweni Edingeni Mzimba, Edingeni Mkocha, Chikwava Mperembe Eutini, among others. Some community members who spoke to Embassy, Yeziani Mwanza and Nelson Piri, said the situation is making transportation difficult and pushing up prices of basic commodities.
The major challenge to our roads is that government upgraded them a long time ago. We are so much concerned because we depend on the transport to ferry goods from one point to another.
A driver, Austin Chikaripo, whose vehicle was stuck in the mud for 3 hours, says life has become tough for drivers and traders who depend on these roads. Meanwhile, a second-hand clothes seller, Maureen Nyirenda, says the roads need urgent maintenance to allow business to operate smoothly.
Most of the times, we don't come to the businesses, and we like food, school fees for our kids. As in some days, we turn on the way failing to do businesses. So things are not okay. The road from Edingen to Nzimba is not okay.
Responding to the concerns, District Commissioner from Mberwa District Council, Emmanuel Borgoto, said the council is aware of the problem and has already reported the matter to the Roads Authority for intervention.
My team has been on the ground. I think we have actioned the DPW, Office of the Director of Public Works, to go on the ground and assess the situation. I think they have done in a number of areas, but they have not finished in all areas. Yeah, some of the roads they are under the council. Some of the roads are under the roads authority. For those under roads authority, we have informed those authorities to act on them, so that they can assist us on how they can fix those roads.
According to reports, government has planned and is implementing several major road construction and rehabilitation projects in Mzimba district in 2026. The project, supported by the Malawi government, the European Union and the Millennium Challenge Corporation, aim to upgrade key roads with bitumen standards and improve connectivity in the northern region.
The Malawi Electoral Commission, MEC, has announced 17 March this year as the voting day for the Luwinga ward by-election following the death of Councillor Henry Singini, who passed away after the recent September general election. MEC Commissioner Caroline Mfune made the announcement at Luwinga Secondary School in Mzuzu during a stakeholders meeting convened to brief them on the electoral process. Jackson Sijari has compiled this report, which is being read by Chimama Mirulu.
Following the death of UDF councillor Henry Singini, who represented Luwinga ward in Mzuzu City North constituency, the Malawi Electoral Commission has officially set 17th March as the date when voters in the area will elect a new ward councillor. Addressing stakeholders at Luwinga, Commissioner Caroline Mfune said voter registration will be conducted for 7 days from 31st January to 6th February this year. Mfune emphasized that only Malawians aged 18 and above are eligible to register, adding that those who are already registered should not register again.
Malawi Electoral Commission, complying with Section 63(2)(b), were here to launch the by-election, and the people who are eligible to contest as candidates, it's open to everybody, as long as that person registered with Malawi Electoral Commission, and as long as that person has followed all the conducive and important and significant things that are supposed to be done before you come and register.
Meanwhile, Mzuzu City Council Chief Executive Officer Gomeziani Nyasulu welcomed the timely action by MEC, saying it will help the council to effectively implement development projects in Luwinga ward, as most community projects are implemented through ward councillors.
As a council, we are very excited with this news that anytime from 17th of March, we will have a representation for this ward. As a council, we operate through councillors, and even the communities, they are represented at the council through the ward councillors. So in the absence of the representation for this ward, there was a big gap for the representation of the community needs of this locality.
Voter registration for the Luwinga ward by-election will take place at 3 centers, namely Area 1B Primary School, St. Augustine Primary School, and Mzuzu Foundation Primary School.
MEC has urged political parties and independent aspiring candidates contesting in local government by-election for Mikongo Ward in Mangochi Northeast to conduct a peaceful campaign. One of MEC's Commissioner Ahari Kanjewe, made the remarks at Malukula Primary School ground in the area of Senior Chief Chowe during the official launch of local government by-election for Mikongo Ward, slated for 17 March this year. Speaking during the launch, Commissioner Kanjewe challenged all candidates and other key stakeholders in the electoral process to adhere to Electoral Code of Conduct and focus on issue-based campaign, saying this is crucial in achieving a free, fair and credible election. MEC postponed the election of ward councillor for Mikongo on 16 September 2025 following the death of one of the aspiring candidates. Commissioner Kanjewe explains.
MEC has emphasized to traditional leaders and all stakeholders that we must give a free and fair a landscape to our candidates so that they can campaign freely without any hindrances. So I would like to urge all my traditional leaders that they should give our candidates ample time and the opportunity to campaign in the areas.
This year's election, the by-election, is not different from any other election. All the other elections that have been happening in the previous years, including the one that was conducted on the 16th September of 2025, it is as important as the by-election that we are doing here. So we are encouraging the traditional leaders, the religious leaders, the political party leaders, as well as individuals in the communities, to preserve all the regulations that are put in place by the Malawi Electoral Commission, so that the election that we are going to have in this ward should be acceptable by all the parties and all the community leaders, as well as the individuals that are staying in this community. And we are making sure that the regulations are followed.
One of the players in the manufacturing and exporting sector is optimistic that the country's economy is taking a turn for the better and poised for growth. Richard Chereko, who is the manager for human resource and compliance for Barclays Malawi Limited, said this during an engagement with the Minister of Industrialization, Business, Trade and Tourism, George Partridge. According to Chereko, current economic trends such as the slight easing of the inflation rate gives hope in the current administration's economic policies. He explains more details to our reporter Geoffrey Chinawa.
He has commended us that we are very passionate about investing in Malawi. As a company, we are facing some challenges. We know this is a new government. We are positive that as time goes, there will be some. We have already seen some macroeconomic fundamentals already changing, so we are very hopeful. Yeah, we're seeing already inflation has eased a bit, so I think that's a major positive. Let's see as we go what other fundamentals will ease down.
In his remarks, the minister said the government is geared to continue putting in place policies that will help industry players grow.
Here, our mandate is to industrialize Malawi, and Bakresa is a very good example on how to industrialize. We have visited their factory here, their plant, and they are very impressive, and we thought that we visit to understand the context in which they are operating and also to understand their challenges. So we can't just sit down in our offices and make policies, desktop policies, without understanding the context in which they are operating. I think now we are better informed in terms of what they are doing, what they are contributing to the country, and also what challenges they are facing at the moment.
And that's it from our newsroom, and a recap of our top stories before we leave. President Mutharika dismisses reports linking his administration to political arrests. Government says it needs at least 209 billion kwacha to recover from the impact of natural disasters. Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, approves a 12% electricity-based tariff adjustment. You were with me, Romeo Umari. Many thanks for watching, and bye for now.
What's your name? Gary, huh? It's my game.
We put everything into this. Those that can do it and succeed,
how to fix it.
This city has been just a cookbook. It's part of
being hit here
with the latest global news and insightful documentary.
Transition.
Understanding the
But if you ask them know me. I know they blow trees, only know me.
Sabata yatha komanso sabata ino nduna yoona za chuma a Joseph Mwanamveka akuyenda dziko lonse la Malawi, Lilongwe, Blantyre ndi Mzuzu kumva maganizo a anthu ndi mabungwe osiyanasiyana kuti kodi mu budget kapena ndondomeko ya zachuma ya dziko lino ya 2026-2027 mukhale zinthu zotani. Ndipo ali ku Lilongwe sabata yatha, limodzi mwa bungwe lomwe linapereka maganizo awo kuti mndondomeko imene mukhale zotani ndi bungwe la Economics Association of Malawi, ECAMA. Tsiku la lero mprogramu ya Unpacked ndi mtsogoleri wa bungwe limeneli la ECAMA, Dr. Betha Pangala Chikadza. Ndikulandireni. Choyambirira mwina tisanapite ku zinthu zomwe mwapereka kwa nduna kunena kuti zikhale mu ndondomeko ya zachuma imeneyi. Mungowaziwisa Malawi kunena kuti tikamanena kuti pre-budget consultation meetings kapena kuti mikumano imeneyi ndi chani kwenikweni.